One of the most annoying sounds known to man is now in CarX Street. Just kidding, by the way, it's a great car. But seriously, the Z35, aka the 350Z, don't tell Nissan, is now in the game as one of the latest cars to be added. When the game launched and only had the 370Z, I knew it was only a matter of time before the 350Z was added. So let's take a look at my build and tune that'll give you a starting place for your own tune. But first, like the video if you like the video, and subscribe for more CarX Street and racing game content. Let's go. Welcome to the tuning shop. I'm going to show you the build and the tune so that you can have something to start with. This car is really fun. It's pretty easy to drift, so let's get into it. The engine, I've got Elite ECU, Racing Turbo Kit, stock cams, Racing intake manifold, Street fuel system, stock cylinder head, Racing engine block, stock exhaust manifold, stock exhaust. So this combination right here is what I ended up using to get to the top of C4. If I add anything else, it goes to C5. For gearbox, Racing clutch, Racing differential, and Racing gearbox. For chassis, I went with Street weight reduction and the stock everything else. For suspension, of course, Ultimate front suspension arms, Sport rear suspension arms. That's just kind of a budget thing. I didn't want to spend too much money. One of the cheaper options because I don't need that much adjustment. Stock front stabilizer, no rear stabilizer, stock brakes, Racing front springs, Racing rear springs, and stock dampers. Ultimate front spacers, Ultimate rear spacers. I went with 235/30 R20 on the front and 305/25 R21 on the rear, and I'm just not realizing that I had 21s on the rear. So
3 weeks later,
and 305/25 R20 on the rear. For tires, I didn't go with stretch tires in this build because I went for more of a Formula Drift looking car. I kept the tires with just regular racing, front and rear. Okay, for tuning, I've got the rev limiter set at 72-76. I've got the turbine pressure all the way down as far as it'll go. And if I increase it any, it's gonna push it up a little bit into the other class. So for transmission, gear shifting speed all the way down. Final drive at 3.68. First gear stock, second gear stock, third gear 1.75, fourth gear 1.37, fifth gear 1.04, sixth stock. Transmission losses at 5. For the differential, I went with 86.67. For suspension, spring length is 122, went up to 122. Spring stiffness up to 170. Camber -9 on the front. Caster angle 10.2, Ackerman 30. Now this is a little different than my previous couple of builds here on the channel. This is just something that I came across and wanted to try out, and I liked how it handled, so I went with it. It seemed to be a little bit faster of a car than with the other tuning that I was running. So steering angle obviously 58. Toe plus 0.35. Spring length in the rear is down to 110. Stiffness is at 78. Camber in the rear is -3, so you can see here there's not much tilt on the rear wheels, and I did that just because I wanted to make sure I got a full tire worth of traction because I wanted to try and make this car pretty fast. And toe, I've got it -0.25. For wheels, front tires I've got at 1.5 pressure, rear tires at 1. Front spacers got all the way out, and the rear I've got it at 0. But that's it for the tune. Let me show you how it handles. I'm here at the new racetrack that was added in a recent DLC, and I came up with a pretty cool section here to test out this new car. So from what I can tell, this car is pretty easy to slide. I didn't have the same issue that I had with the Evo 9 build. I'll link that one in a card or in the description below, where the car reaches that angle of no return and just spins out. It's hard to save it. This car can really hold a solid angle and do it smoothly if you provide gentle inputs on the controller or if you're using a wheel. Shout out to No Damn Clue in the lobby that I was in. He was providing some pointers while I was working on the tune, and that's what I love about this game, man, is the community is super nice. I see people give and receive tuning help to people all the time in random lobbies. All you gotta do is ask. You know, you get to try stuff that other people are running and then test it out in the lobby right then and there too. So once again, special shout out to him. Taking it to the tandems, this car really held up well against others in this particular lobby. It wasn't super fast, so that I was constantly having to hit the brakes to avoid the lead car, but I wasn't being totally left behind. Part of the issue that I'm running into is that my GPU can't handle larger size lobbies, so I was dropping frames and lagging a little bit, and there's nothing really I can do about that right now. In due time, I'll upgrade to a better card, but for now, it is what it is. That about does it for this car. I'm super excited to have this drifting legend in CarX Street, especially now that this car in real life has become the new S chassis at drift events, at least here in the States. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.